You don't let it go there, but there are a lot
of CV squared has 51 finest degrees of freedom, making
On the way home, I got hungry and I ate it. We're Americans, and we only like competition, okay? I'm eating, and I'm reading a book, and this waitress comes up.
We can break down the alcohol in seconds. No stupor, no hangover. We can just toss them back while waiting for orders. If man realizes technology is within reach, he achieves it, like it's damn near instinctive. Look at us, for example. We're state-of-the-art. Controlled metabolisms, computer-enhanced brains, cybernetic bodies. Not long ago, this was science fiction. So what if we can't survive without regular high-level needs? Who are we to complain? I suppose an occasional tune-up is a small price to pay for all this.
I'm afraid we both signed our bodies and ghosts away to Section 9.
True. If we ever quit or retire, we'd have to give back our augmented brains and cyborg bodies. There wouldn't be much left after that. There are countless ingredients that make up the human body and mind, like all the components that make up me as an individual with my own personality. Sure, I have a face and voice to distinguish myself from others, but my thoughts and memories are unique only to me, and I carry a sense of my own destiny. Each of those things are just a small part of it. I collect information to use in my own way. All of that blends to create a mixture that forms me and gives rise to my conscience. I feel confined, only free to expand myself within boundaries. It's like a dim image in the mirror. What we see now is like a dim image in the mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Thanks to chemical implants in our bodies, we can break down the alcohol in seconds. No stupor, no hangover. We can just toss them back while waiting for orders. If man realizes technology is within reach, he achieves it, like it's damn near instinctive. Look at us, for example. We're state-of-the-art. Metabolisms, computer-enhanced brains, cybernetic bodies. Not long ago, this was science fiction. So what if we can't survive without regular high-level needs? Who are we to complain? I suppose an occasional tune-up is a small price to pay for all this.
I'm afraid we both signed our bodies and ghosts away to Section 9.
True. If we ever quit or retire, we'd have to give back our augmented brains and cyborg bodies. There wouldn't be much left after that. There are countless ingredients that make up the human body and mind, like all the components that make up me as an individual with my own personality. Sure, I have a face and voice to distinguish myself from others, but my thoughts and memories are unique only to me, and I carry a sense of my own destiny. Each of those things are just a small part of it. I collect information to use in my own way. All of that blends to create a mixture that forms me and gives rise to my conscience. I feel confined, only free to expand myself within boundaries. It's like a dim image in the mirror. What we see now is like a dim image in the mirror. Then we shall see face to face.
Oh my.
But wait! There's more! Hang on to your seat, baby! Cause this one's a screamer!
Yes, because this one's a screamer. Alright, folks, welcome to another What With Us. And we're going over Jim Rose Circus Sideshow today. And the history of it and all the things. Well, Jim Rose brought back the traveling circus and sideshow freak show to modern stages, and that's what we're going over today. Is the reason why we're able to do a lot of these acts on stage is because he helped us get there, but also it probably would eventually have gotten there, but he started weird, crazy performances going on large stages. So let's go ahead, bring in our co-host, things and stuff, our freaks, starting with.
But some people without brains do an awful lot of talking, don't they?
Yes, I guess you're right.
Jerry, come here, Jerry. Jerry, the spirits have spoken. Listen closely, for this is your final message. At 3:33 in the morning, you will die. They will come, and they will take you to the dark dimension. The time has come. You will not be missed. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. There's the intros.
Hey, cunts.
How y'all doing?
Doing well. I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, especially because so a lot of times that when we talk about the sideshow and stage performances stuffs on concert stages, sometimes I feel like some of you ask me where and how did we get here, and this is that springboard that I didn't 100% talk about always, but we probably would have not been put on concert stages in the way that we were unless this person did this. But still, fuck you, Jim Rose. Like, we'll get into why later. But what I want to do is we're going to do the intros. We're going to say hi, let us, how much chats, and then we're going to show some of the crazy shite we have done. And then we're going to show some Jim Rose. We're going to talk to some people. Then we're going to do some more of our stuff, and we're trying to make this as fair use as possible because sometimes Jim and his wife are litigious. Let's put it that way. So let's get on with our disclaimers.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers, commentators, experts, and/or hosts. They do not explicitly or necessarily reflect nor represent the channel's policy or the views held by this channel or broadcaster. The broadcaster or its channel cannot be held accountable for all or any views expressed during this program.
It's just like Killer Cop 4, but she's got Hema instead of fry cook balls. I need you, Action Bastard! Action Bastard, I need you! Action Bastard, I need you! Why am I wasting time dancing?
You want to know why? Because the world is fucking flat, dog. And everything that you see up there, as far as like planets or stars, yeah, guess what, dude? It's fucking fake. It's just lights up there. The government put those lights up there so you dummies could just act like there's something up there.
Wait a second, are you a flat earther?
Call a crackhead. You're stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. You're stupid. All right, folks. Let's go ahead and say
you're stupid.
I'm totally stupid, for sure. Let's go ahead and say hello to the Cinema Chats that we have. Stop the stupidity.
Hey,
Hey, stop.
And we have their commercial.
Attention, New Yorkers! Stop acting so stupid!
And we have an Ivy Chan.
Hi, Ivy.
We have a Jasper.
Ivy. A Jasp.
And we have a Pastor.
Oh, hi, Pastor. Yeah. Cool.
And
Yeah.
to you. Anyways, so let's crack on with the beginning of this. Let's get over some of the old stuff I did like 12 years ago. I don't know. So this is Old World. And then we'll get into Jim Rose.
See the skinny skeleton man, feisty Siamese twins, sexy snake woman, beautiful bearded lady,
Your hair is so long.
That's what you said. Haha. What?
Nailed it.
Would you do that, kitty cat? Would you do this
What?
act?
What, my tongue in the mousetrap?
Yeah.
I don't know if my tongue's long enough, but
Oh goddamn no! It sucks so bad. It sucks so bad. I hate doing that. That is the Wheel of Death, and I actually have that sitting in my basement right now.
yikes.
And this is a one of this is
I don't think I could do that.
this is a one of a kind act. Only 3 people in the world used to do this, and there's only 2 now that do it. And I have this as a thing. If we don't ever use it, this will go in our oddities. Yes, our museum definitely will have this because I have.
You can kill the third guy?
No, he's in jail for selling meth. That's why he's not around anymore.
Okay.
That's why this gentleman who's right here in the screen, he's not with us anymore. It's because he's in prison.
He's not gonna get out, or
He was in for 12 years the last time I checked, and it was like 8 years ago. I don't know. I guess they found him with a shit ton of meth, and he was having sex with an underage girl or something like that too.
whoa.
That's not smart.
Yeah. So he's not gonna be around forever. And you know what I fucking wish I would have done? His mom had the bed of nails outside of the back of her house.
Damn.
And I didn't go and get it because I didn't want to be a thief, and I didn't want to. I should have just gone and gotten the bed of nails. As soon as he went to prison, I should have just took that bed of nails. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Pragmatic.
PC.
Hey, I love you, Crystal. Anyways, I should have gotten the bed of nails. And if you don't know what bed of nails we're talking about, you're going to see them in about 20 seconds. Look at how young I am. Oh my God, I have like hair everywhere. Never mind.
How young you were, not am.
Look, yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm a time traveler, so it's hard to say that.
That's not how you change a piercing.
Yeah, and Kitty Cat, that's how I started stretching my septum was with those. So you're lucky I am giving you the easy way to do it, other than the way I did it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm not as reckless about that stuff. I don't like not as.
And that's why I'm not going to ask you to do things. And that's why I'm not going to ask you to do things the way that I fucking did shit. I'm going to make it as safe and easy as possible for you. Look at that bag of broken glass, kitty cat. Isn't that fucking crazy looking? That bag of glass was probably years old and had been used forever before we made new stuff for me. So that is the bed of nails. And then once again, kitty cat, see how I have my double septum? Yeah, I still have that hole technically. But anyways, so here is the bed of nails. This is the bed of nails.
What is he resting his head on? A suitcase?
Suitcase. A suitcase. So we used to put the.
It's not fake glass, Pastor.
No, it's it's a real glass. What I'm saying is
Nazi.
I know, but no, what we're saying is that glass has been used for a gazillion years. That's why that looked the way that it did, and that's why it does look fake. But when we're gonna show you me jumping on glass and other things later, you'll see the difference. But I was just trying to point that out for my, savvy will. It's good for her to notice and or for me to point it out because the rest of you don't give a beep about why that matters.
It matters to
so
me,
there's the
though.
bed of nails. That's what I'm saying.
I miss
That's the
doing
bed of nails.
That part of the act I'm really excited to get to do again because I really enjoy it.
I wish I had that bed of nails. That bed of nails is worth $1,000 right now.
Why?
$1,200. Why?
Yeah.
Because he did it properly. There's 3 layers of it. The nails are in the middle layer.
But isn't cats also like multi-layered and really, really nice?
Look at how many spikes you see. Look at how many spikes.
Drew's was pretty badass.
Look, okay, he is 7 foot tall. Hold on. He's 7 foot tall. That's a fucking 5 foot board or 6 foot board. That shit is fucking huge, homie. That shit is fucking huge. I've never seen a board that big before in my life.
I don't remember how big Drew's was, but I know it was bigger than the one I've seen that Cat has. That one was little.
And then we did have a sandwich version of it as well.
Yeah, we had a couple of them.
But no, look at how many nails there are.
I like seeing the meat in that kind of sandwich.
I'm down. Yeah, I'm down for that. But look at how many nails there are, and he had the right type of
that's really
stuff
comfy. But he could just lay there forever.
Yeah, and anyways.
That part kind of hurts me.
Yeah, that's when I used to eat very, very toxic. That's when I used to eat very, very toxic things before realizing that, I kind of
started doing that when I first heard glam rock.
Yeah. Yep.
Get rid of this shit.
And here's one of my favorite things: is the murder scene we used to do.
Well, she has the appropriate name.
Well, eventually we'll get it. It's
Rose
there.
West.
And then, yes, that was Rose. Yes, and then this is the beginning of it.
Is that a real name, or is she named after the mass murderer Rose West?
Yes, the mass murderer. That was what she was named after.
Yeah, the British.
You don't need your board of nails, Pastor. Thank you, though. No, thank you.
So when we were going to a show at Oriental Theater down in Denver, this was just sitting out at a construction site, and my friend picked it up and goes, "Slim, you should lift this from your nose," and we totally stole it because of that. That's how that. It's a huge nut, a bolt, a nut. It's a huge nut. It's a huge nut.
Just like you.
Of course it is.
And then this was the beginning of lifting weights.
Right.
So this is a 10. It's probably a 5-pound weight and a 2-pound weight or something, I think, at this point. And then I made these bells, and then that's lifting from the nipples. And anyways, this is the beginning. And this is when I still used to wear a watch because I was a dork. But
There's nothing wrong with wearing a watch.
Was a dork?
Some people like to know what time it is without having to ask someone else, find a clock, or look at their phone. Not everyone's glued to their phones.
And you know what I see? He's wearing a watch.
What I see is my boxers are fucking coming up way too high.
Why was a time traveler wearing a watch, though?
Yeah, but it's a little bit off in this picture, wearing a watch.
That's why I said I shouldn't be wearing a watch.
It's a little bit off.
Okay, here's the guitar string, kitty cat.
I know you're happy with that.
I don't like that one.
I do. I like this one. This one makes me happy.
I want to do this. I want to do this again.
I mean, like I said, Drew used sharpened bike spokes. You get
yeah. And when I saw his dumbass doing it with that large of a gauge, I said, "Hey, what's the next smallest?" Yeah, well, and so am I. But again, my brain went to, what is the smallest gauge of a thingy-mabobber that I can put on a wire that? And I went, oh my. I don't remember 100% exactly how it happened, but I was sitting here watching, like, I think I was sitting here watching The Torture King, and we'll talk about him in just a minute. And I looked over and I saw my guitar, and the bottom E string was flapping in the wind, or it was broken. And I went, "Are you kidding me? I can take fucking steel guitar strings that are unwound and I can pierce my body with it. Oh my Jeebus!" And then I'm like, "Oh well, like you said, kitty cat. Him and the Torture King and a handful of people are doing their cheeks." I was like, here's the most unevasive way for me to do this, which is this. And when
saliva packet and you're solid.
Well, that's why you have to do it behind a certain point, and so that's why I got myself tattooed in a certain way. I can only pierce myself in this little hole, so I don't hit that nerve cluster, which causes your saliva to run forever.
Right.
I did my research. I talked to the everybody's.
Good.
So that's why we've gotten to where we are at. That's why I'm still able to keep doing this and to have this conversation with you all in this way. But let's crack on.
Like whiskers of a cat.
Is she still in Denver?
Who?
Is that chick still around? Whoever that is.
Yeah, but screw her. I drove her from Fort Collins. Oh God, there's so much drama behind me and her. Anyways, I drove her from Fort Collins to Denver with us, and she technically moved next to me and my significant other at the time. I drove her in ice cold weather in a U-Haul, all her stuff in one day. I showed up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. We packed up all her stuff, got out there by noon before her boyfriend at the time, or the person she was trying to leave at the time, moved, came home from work. And then I drove her to Denver, which is 70 miles or something, and then moved her and all her crap into the thing. We did all these shows. I forgot to pay her $5 in tips, and she needed tampons, and she told me to go fuck myself because me and my girlfriend at the time went to go buy her tampons, and she said that I was trying to get it so that she couldn't do anything, or I was stealing her money or something, when we literally went and bought her tampons, and I was going to give her the fucking $9 in tips. I was probably going to give her 20. I don't remember. But she literally fucking broke up our relationship because she needed tampons, and I didn't tip her fast enough from a gig 2 days before. And I was on my way to go fix the situation when she decided to ruin it all. So, sorry, you crazy bitch. Anyways. So there's that thing you move over. Now let's go ahead and get into. That's what you said last night too, or your wife said last. That's what your wife said last night. I just want to see how much I can like reel. And anyways, okay. Now let's get into the beginning of the end. Anyways. So here is where we get into the beginning of how Jim Rose Circus Sideshow got itself into the zeitgeist. Was there one event before this that happened? Totally. They were in Portland, I think is where they started out. Then they did a couple of things on the sorry, did somebody say something that I tried to talk over?
No.
Okay. Anyways, I believe in Portland is when Enigma moved from Minnesota or some place there, and a handful of other people moved to Portland, and there was a festival, and Enigma and a couple other people came out and blah blah blah, and that was the start of it, where they met Jim Rose. Now that we springboarded off of that, let's go ahead and hear the beginning of how they became famous. Let's put it that way. And if we want to go over this again, and if I can get people from the Jim Rose Circus Sideshow on here to talk, that would be amazing. But I can't guarantee anything about that. But if I can, we will do it. I know all of them, but I don't think I can, but we'll go from here. Some of them don't want to be in the industry, but I don't see why they wouldn't want to talk to us about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we wouldn't be pushing. Anyways, here's the beginning of how it's just. I'm just gonna play it. I'm just gonna play it.
One of the things that we did to break ground was traditionally you would have a tour.
Look at how young he is.
You'd have a tour. You'd have a headliner. You'd have a support. You'd have the local group. So now we're coming at you with 7. So we're coming at you, and we're going to bring it into a field, or someplace where you'll be surrounded with trees, et cetera, et cetera.
So this was one of the first time they were starting and beginning to do large festivals again, since like the I want to say like the 1980s and 90s were doing stadium festivals. This is when they began trying to do things back on a field, and more like it was during a Woodstock or something, where you could just have a flat land that had a lot of plain, and then you could put property. Yes, and have multiple stages on a land, and that was the other thing. In a stadium, sometimes you can have multiple stages, but it's really annoying for people to get around them. But if you're able to go, and this was the beginning of like what raves begin doing, like what we did with Massives, is you have one stage happen, 20 minutes later, not immediately, 20 minutes later, you have another massive stage, have the band. Then the next one you have after that band, so many minutes after, 20, 30 minutes, the next stage. Then you rotate. So you have this like little funneling, cute little thing that happens. And that's what you did with certain raves. you would have the headliners go on not at the exact time, because that was the dumbest thing in the world. Why would you spend $500,000, even though I don't know if that's the number. I used to pay $10,000, or I didn't, but the companies that I worked for paid $10,000 for their headliners. Why would you pay $10,000 to have nobody listen to them, or why to be broken up? So what you would do is you do midnight was John Claude over here, and then Paul Oakenfold over here the next hour, and then this person the next hour, right? You know, you had this multi-roomed way that you could get blah million, you know, and you had a venue of 250,000 people. So you needed to just make this rotating thing, and we'll keep going and we'll talk about it later.
Now I want to keep it going. So I'm going to give you an art gallery. So there's your art. But now I want to keep it going. I want to bring some freaks, some freakiness into it. See some.
What are these freaks that you speak of? I've never heard of these freaks. Sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. Let's keep going.
Alternative lifestyle people, how they're getting on and what they're doing. And now they've got, you know, giant earring hoops, and they've got, you know, piercings here and there. In fact, they're hanging weights off of their testicles.
I love you, Mr. Lifto. You fucking are amazing. You're fucking so awesome. Yeah, lifting weights off of his. I don't think it's not his testicles. It's not his testicles.
It's not.
No.
Not a piercing or anything. Because I mean, I've seen people do crazy things with their balls in regards to like lifting and pulling things. So I mean, he could be.
So the best of my knowledge, when I've talked to him and from what I've come to understand, and I've seen videos where you can see, this is a Prince Albert piercing.
Oh,
it's very deep.
Oh, that's that.
Yeah, no, I know. It doesn't make it better. I'm just saying, I'm giving you the facts that I know and from, but it is a deep.
I'm just
Prince Albert from the top.
That piercing being. That's impressive that piercing is it's from a PA.
That's a lot of meat. Though. That is a lot of meat. But
and
is it fun?
But
no.
Still, Jesus.
So it's right.
I would have expected for that. No, I just thought it would have been a different.
No, balls would have been worse. Balls would be worse.
I don't know.
So if you can
saw
actually
old truck ones with his balls. So I've seen some crazy shit with balls.
Balls? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. No, that's tip. So that's tip. FYI, this is what it's hanging from. It's hanging from here.
Right.
I've already talked to him about it, and we've gone over this multiple times.
I didn't.
Yeah, no, I know. I didn't finger anybody didn't, but I wanted to prove that that. So that was what was happening with that.
They're going to lay on a bed of nails, and then they're going to get up, and they're going to put a tube down their nose and drink a bunch of beer and vomit it up. And here comes Flea, and here comes Eddie Vedder, and they're going to drink it for you.
Well, there's one thing, Perry.
This is when Jim Rose was very, very young, and he was
never seen him look like that.
Yeah, because I mean,
weird.
This is before him and his wife got into the heroines. This is when he was just an alcoholic. He was a wino at this point. That's all he was.
And I have in common, and that is we won't drink someone else's vomit. Yeah, but we don't share that.
What?
I mean,
he said he won't. Oh! I know. I understand. You don't know what we're talking about yet.
What?
But here we blow. Oh, the garbage. Anyways, well, they'll talk about it.
That you would think we share that trait with all of humanity, but we don't. There was a period where
so the garbage we'll talk about in a second.
During Lollapalooza, where there would be a guy that would thread 7 feet of tubing into his stomach via the nose.
This is how you force feed hunger strikers. We got.
It was not 7 feet, you weirdo. It was 2, maybe 2.5. I talked to him about this, and he told me how to do this.
A funny feeling Chicago's really gonna like this one.
And then on the other end of that tube was a clear cylinder that we would fill with all kinds of ketchup and mustard.
Beer and other things and whatever, and people's
and Malox and
anything they would put chocolate,
beer and eggs and I forget, bong water.
I don't like this
bong water, everything. What?
If he couldn't taste it, could he? Because it's in his
Doesn't
stomach.
matter. That'd still be gross. I can totally watch somebody like shove all sorts of things through their cheeks and do all sorts of piercings and like suspension, but this is no. I don't want to see him vomit.
Yeah. That's why we don't do this, and that's why we've never done this, and that's why you don't put this on stage again. Yeah, that's why we don't put this on stage again. But
yeah, but I don't want to see it.
No, I get you, but here's what we have to talk about, because here is the springboarding of certain things. And again, we don't, and here's another reason why we don't.
Water, we used to dump in everything, and then we would pump it through his nose. And
this was what Enigma would do.
Through his stomach, right?
Gross.
When we did shows with Enigma.
And then we would pull it back out, the concoction.
Although Enigma could do this with his stomach, he could suck it in, and then he could blow it back out, or he could push it back out with his
stomach. And it would always come back a different color. And then we would offer it to the audience. These drunk.
And then people would drink it.
Kids started coming up on stage drinking it.
No.
And then,
no.
How did it go? One day, I offer it, and these kids struggle up like they normally do. And Chris Cornell comes up. And everybody recognizes him, of course. And he drinks it. Well, MTV picked that up.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That was like the beginning of where this got pushed a lot more in 1995
and
or something.
Went nuts.
Yeah.
Next day, Eddie Vedder drinks it.
Yeah, and then it became 90s. Yeah, the 90s. Yes.
Yeah.
Don't do it before your set. Don't do it before your set. Do it after your set. Oh my Jesus.
You don't have to prove your heart.
No.
That's like drinking all the liquors
it's that
from the
aftertaste you got to worry about.
Do it.
Oh, down the hatch with the freaks.
Down the hatch without a scratch. That's what we said.
That's nope. Now, have I pulled a big pen out of somebody's nose? Yes. With my teeth? Yeah. And that didn't gross me out for some reason. I only used my teeth. It was fine. But that, no.
I've done way worse than all of that. But anyways,
sure
but I wouldn't do that. But I've done way worse.
Yeah, meatloaf.
What the
So here we go.
Rose Circus was like when it first came out.
I love
nowadays you look around and you've got YouTube and everybody.
Okay, so he would do the escaping out of the straitjacket. I have done that.
There's Jackass.
I just like wearing one.
There was nobody doing this stuff.
Yeah.
At all, except for the Jim Rose Circus at that time.
And well, nobody was putting it on a nightclub and concert stage, and that was the difference between having a traveling circus, sideshow, oddities exhibit, or anything else. He was the first person who fucking put it in punk venues, metal, and other venues And that's why, luckily for my dumbass, and
it didn't happen sooner. Honestly,
no, I'm on the same page with you for sure.
Like, why didn't it start in the 70s or the 80s during the goth movement? Why did it take till the 90s and the grunge movement for it to actually hit nightclubs?
It was thought of theater at first,
right?
Then,
but theater, I mean, theatrical.
I know. I don't understand the difference. I know. I get you. I get you, kitty cat. But luckily, this dumbass fucking did this for us. That's the great thing.
I hate that it was later than it makes sense that it should have been.
Although
the world missed out on some cool shit for way too long.
You're right. But you know that we now are in the pinnacle of that as well. So now we're still in the golden age. I don't want to say that. God damn, that's the wrong thing. But no, we're still in the
shower age.
Yes, exact simile, especially on you, dog. Anyways, no, but no, we're in an age of where this modern type of entertainment can be put into so many different places. Everybody wants it to where we can make money. Hopefully, if we can. Anyways, let's keep going. I'm going to stop right there.
So when we came to your town, it was like a spaceship had landed, because it was like, because the freaky type of entertainment stuff had disappeared 30 years ago. Well, the kids showing up to these shows were only 16 to about 25. So they don't even have a living experience of this type of show.
Yeah, so they lived in the gap.
Stupidity. I'm with you, dude. Like, for real.
Yeah, exactly. But he saw the God of the Gaps, and I know that's a weird way to say that, but he saw the entertainment gap. Let's put it that way.
Right. Because he's a promoter, so it makes sense. Yeah. I mean,
and he just said it. There's not traveling circuses, sideshows anymore. But if he can throw the fucking freaks back on the stage, why are we not fucking doing that, dumbass?
Right.
Like,
exactly.
I mean, and then that's where, again, luckily for people like us, let in whoever. I don't know. I heard a bop, but I don't know who it was. Anyways, and luckily for us, he did kind of springboard that into it. I know eventually it would have happened. I know one of our dumbasses would have figured it out, but like I was putting on events in 2001 is the first time I put on an event, an actual event. Was I putting on weird underground, weird things that didn't make any sense that nobody understood? Fuck yeah. But it was 2001 that like we were like, okay, we're gonna have 200 people fucking show up this thing of we're gonna have 10 bands, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have kegs, and we're gonna like I have like 5 people on fucking walkie-talkies, and like that's when I started going, okay, this is when we're gonna like put on events. And then one of the first events I put on or was involved in, oh my Jesus, was I want to say Pomona, but I don't remember. Downtown Denver or somewhere around there. There was a 3-story fucking hotel that they had closed down and they made to a venue. And they took out the fucking first and second floors and they had just made into like a concert hall and they put in a stage on one side. And the 3rd, 4th floor were just fucking like sex rooms, pretty much. So we put on this event and we had a gazillion and a half people. We had a line around the fucking block for most of the night because we could only let in so many people and let out so many people. That's all I'm going to say. Well, we'll keep going with this.
Exist. You know, I would come out, I would tell a few jokes, get the crowd all worked up, ready to go. They were not real obvious type jokes. They were sort of maniacal
Cuff and dumbass
things I would do. Get the crowd all pumped up and then start doing stunts. The stunts we did back then was
the thing that like made this like the cheesiest part of this is he would come out and do magic tricks technically. And they would throw all of the actual sideshow and real acts at you. And because if you put there is a way to put a magician before people doing things, but like normally if you have a stage, you put the magicians and tarot readers and other things on another stage, and sideshow is its own, because you don't want people to be confused from what's real or not, or it makes the sword swallower look like they're not real. If a fucking guy like makes you fucking pick a card out of a card right before then, can you do shows like that? Sure. I mean, there's nothing 100% wrong. Just the thing that sucked about Jim Rose is all the stuff that he did was all magic tricks, and he didn't learn how to do sideshow per se. Did he do blockhead? Yeah, and did he put his face in broken glass that somebody else? Anyways, let's crack on.
Because I would eat razor blades, thread.
And that's a magic trick. The eating razor blades and putting on a thread is a magic trick. It's not sideshow.
Cough them up tied to the thread.
Yeah.
And we had lifting.
That's real life. What Lifto is doing with their nipples.
Pierced weightlifting. Human pincushion. We had.
He would pierce himself, from what I read over and over again, 50 times a night before he would come out on stage. And then he'd pierce through his cheeks with a meat skewer and other things.
The gavage guy, Matt the Two.
And garbage, like I said earlier, that's when they pump the things down his stuff and pull it out.
Crowley, BB the Circus Queen.
Your wife was never anything a part of that. Shut the fuck up, Jim.
Chicago, I said up! Beautiful. It's science. He's going to put it in his mouth. You can touch it.
That is Enigma before he was tattooed. Oh my god, look at him. He looks so fucking funny. Or it looks so different to me without his blue tattoos, because he lived with me for 2 years. I woke up every morning for 2 years straight looking at his dumbass fucking blue fucking puzzle face mug. That's Enigma, but oh my god, that's Enigma before he fucking got tattooed. Oh
and before
god.
he had his implants, yeah.
He had anything. Yeah, no, that's before.
Right? Oh, blank canvas.
Oh my god, that's crazy. And then of course he let Capsaicin fucking do it, but we'll talk about that later as well.
Don't eat that one, it's been on the floor.
Are those worms?
What?
Is he eating worms?
Yes, he's eating worms. I hated eating worms, and because they always
eating a hook for fishing. So yeah, no.
I hate eating them because they always kick all the way down your throat, just like the legs of crickets. Eating live crickets suck because they kick down your throat the whole time.
Don't eat that one, slug. It's been on the floor. Can't take him anywhere. Where's your manners? Don't play. It's science. It's fucking science.
Oh my god, he's lifting weights from his eyelids. Wow.
Yeah,
I haven't seen him do that in a gazillion.
I've
He
never
doesn't
seen
do that
him
anymore.
do it. But
I've never
that's
seen
what
him do
one
that
traveling
either.
guy did that came through Amarillo. He lifted cinder blocks with his eyelids.
I've seen a handful of people do it, not him though. I
yeah,
think
I
I've heard
didn't
him
know
talk
he ever
about
did
it.
that. Huh.
Now watch the way it is expelled.
Look at that. Beautiful. Science slug. Tickling the gag reflex 7 times a day.
Which sword is this? Which sword is this? Okay, it's not the one that I have.
Oh, and up and over. Our national champion. You should be proud of him, Chicago. Kick that ass at Brazil.
Okay, so there's all those. And then, done. You guys want to be freaked out more? Do you guys want more? Do you want more? You want more?
Yes.
I don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't
Yes,
matter.
Daddy.
It's my show. I'm
Hold on to.
Please,
all right, so let's just. So we are at normal. Yes, please. I will lock some more. You can't have your pudding unless you eat your meat. I don't know what's going on anymore. Okay. Anyways, I'm not gonna let you see all the intro stuff because like I don't want to scare you all off yet. So let's get into this. So this is the Jim Rose Circus Sideshow in the modern times before he decided to sit in a hotel room and jerk himself off. Let's put it that way. Yeah, fuck you, Jim. Anyways.
Thrills, chills, and doctor bills. A ticket's good for a seat.
Breaking the cinder block.
High-flying, bone-jarring excitement. Woo!
This is with all the new crew, not from the old one we just watched.
The Jim Rose Circus turns every city into a giant mud pit.
If you want to thank someone for dredging the sideshow up from out of obscurity, follow the tour bus. Members of the Jim Rose Circus travel like rock stars. In fact, it was their constant touring with bands in the late 80s that brought the thrill of the sideshow back. They created a new level of shock that soon was to become the standard by which the new sideshow would be judged.
This show is a whole
Whoever pops in, let him in.
potpourri of
I want to do this kitty cat. I want to make this kitty cat.
things.
Commander?
Hello.
Hi. I don't need to make a ladder.
Your bladesmith friend?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I already have things that are ready for this. I just need to make it. So we'll just make it one day, okay? And then we'll have one of
Told
these.
you to never do.
And then we can just walk across this all the time.
And that's why there's
I already have everything's already ready. I just need to make it.
an interest to it. We can't help ourselves. I mean, people watch the Jim Rose Circus. It's like a car accident. Anytime a human is in an unfamiliar situation, you have to look.
I think it's pretty normal. Then again, I've been married to only one person, and that's him. It's great. Each day is different. You know, I don't get the same day with him. It's fun to be around.
That's Jim Rose's wife. FYI.
I really love him. We have a very deep connection. We've been together for 14 years. I got a few bruises and.
So this is what Kat does, and Savvy and I will be doing this to Kat. I don't know 100% on the bit of nails, although we're trying to get that right. I don't think we have one, do we?
She does. She's got hers.
Okay. Well, then we'll be doing this with Kat in the near future with this because I already know how to do this, and so did she tell you about how to do this?
I understand that if you do it wrong, that you can get internal bleeding and die. But
Yeah. Okay. So we'll teach you how to do it. It's
no, I
not
don't know how to actually do it.
It's very, very easy technically. And anyways, if she has a bit of nails, and I'm hoping we can figure out a sandwich board because then we can sandwich of the board.
Do you not have a board anymore, or a bed of nails anymore?
I don't have anything anymore that actually works. But we can figure out a way to get them, or we'll see. But I don't know. I don't have any of those right now.
I still bear some scars on my shoulders, but I never got hurt to a point to go to the hospital. If I get cut, I use super glue, which seals the wound. That's the best remedy for cuts. And for bruises, where I kind of patch them up with makeup if they get too dark.
One little point on that. Just using super glue, no,
It's
because
so
super
bad.
glue is toxic. There is special glue that you can use.
Mhm.
Don't like normal people don't use super glue.
Well, super
They're-
glue.
That's
we're
only
not
for the
normal
freaks.
people.
Okay,
Super
okay,
glue
hold
is
on,
made
hold
for
on, hold on.
military injuries on the field.
Actually, as a machinist, we used it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, hold on,
Yeah,
hold
but-
on,
but
hold on,
there-
hold
there
on, hold
is a
on, hold
safer
on.
alternative.
Hold on. Yeah,
Yeah, now there is. It's called New Skin, but years ago there wasn't.
Can the guy? Yeah, son of a beast. Okay, yes. Okay, so back in the day, you know, there was only a certain thingy-mabobbers. Now we have different versions of it, and there's this. But in a hot spot, if the only thing you have around you is, then fucking use it. But if you have a choice, use the fucking metal version that's not contaminated and or it is a medical anyways. We understand. So let's crack on. Yeah. And I mean, if never mind.
Old Sideshow's this is a family business, and Jim's wife is also his victim.
And now we can make this very dangerous. It's the kiss of death. So,
But they took off the stinger. They took off the stingers. So technically, anyways. And don't worry. Don't worry, Kitty. If anything, I'd make you maybe do this to me, but this would never probably happen.
No, I don't think I can even hold it like that. Mm-mm. I don't think I could.
Yell,
That's a
and
hard
I'll place it
task.
into
That's
her
a
mouth.
hard.
Don't let us down, Milwaukee.
Okay, Jim, why are you fucking screaming so hardcore in the mic, you fucking dumb cunt?
Because he wants
Why
to blow
didn't
out
you
his vocal
tell?
cords that night. Meh.
No, what? No, it's really that they put too much fucking effects or whatever on it because he wants it to sound scratchy. But bro, just calm your tits. Just calm down. You're okay. Nobody's gonna not be fucking impressed by this. You fucking twat.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3.
So nothing happened. That's freaking awesome. You barely even got it in her mouth, and it wanted to get out of there. Yeah, that's freaking awesome. Cool. Yeah, you're so amazing. Okay.
That's what always happens to me. I barely get it in their mouth.
Yeah, let's do where Enigma. This is where Enigma does this for the first time. So Enigma is doing the garbage for the first time. And then this is Mr. Lifto, and he was doing this from his tongue. And he has all the ear gear in that. And so when he saw me do all this stuff, he's like, man, that was fucking awesome the way that you did that. And this is Enigma swallowing his sword. The 50 piercings on Torture King.
Bizarre was really simple. And if you look back at that show I had then, you'd realize that today it's your next door neighbor.
I hate doing the condom stuff. That fucking shit's so fucking annoying.
Job to bring things that are really unfamiliar because P.T. Barnum had his freak shows in the 19th century. So that was the most famous freak show of the 19th century was Barnum's.
I'll be right back. 1 second.
In the 20th century,
Yes, okay, Kitty.
the Jim Rose Circus is the most famous.
Back to the Mad Go! Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Omega!
Why are you yelling so hardcore into the microphone, you asshole? Stop it, you twat. I fucking hate how he did this.
Wants to kill his vocal cords.
No, like all the fucking sound guy had to do was just turn it down, and it would have been golden. But whatever.
It loses the effect.
It's a wannabe effect, but it's not the right. Sorry, Jim, you're an idiot. There's a different way where you can do this.
Or bands.
Yeah, but what you can do is you can do this exactly on stage, and I can talk exactly like this, and I can be a talker, and I can give you all of the same thing without blowing out your eardrums. So, but I did learn from this dumbass cunt how to not blow up people's eardrums.
If you do it the way Slim does, people can understand what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at is, and I learned. But I did learn from this twat whistle and a handful of other people and Enigma and, is I can go deep and people can hear the rumble of the bass very, very far. Or you can also go a little bit higher if you want to go with this. And then maybe people are going to hear it on a different frequency. So I don't need to yell in your earballs. I just need to change the way that I, yeah, exactly. Like I've been doing this since I was fucking 2 years old on fucking stage or some bullshit. Anyway, let's crack on. And now that I look at this, I see a lot of the reasons why a lot of us did mimic a lot of what they did on stage, but it did work when we did it too. Just we didn't have a fucking heroin addict cunt whistle on stage yelling at us in a fucking register that doesn't make any sense while beautiful people are doing things around him. I mean, it's your fault, Jim, that it didn't keep working. Like, I'm sorry to say that, but that's what happened. And like, this is Kitty Cat. There's background noise, I think, in your side.
I opened mail. Sorry. I'm done now.
Okay. Or you can just mute if you're not talking, if you're doing anything, but that's okay. So this is Eric Spalding. This is Lizard Man. He told all of us, or it was said, he wanted to tattoo all of his body except for his face. Jim Rose came to him and said, the only way that I'm going to book you and I'm going to take you on tour is if you tattoo your face like a lizard.
Of course he did.
Yep. So then he did.
Then you're a pretty fucking big cunt. Then you're a pretty big cunt.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm going to stick by that story. And Rose and or Jim and or Lizard tell me wrong, but I believe that I was told that by Lizard.
Working action sideshow. That influenced me a lot. So while I was going through school, I found that more and more what connected with people was, some fire play at a party or pounding a nail into my face. Eventually, I got to the point where I was doing a one-man show, which was very much like Jim's whole earlier troupe show. And after a few short discussions, we came to an agreement. And now I'm traveling with.
You know what that meant? You came to an agreement. What did that mean? Why are all these new face tattoos on your head? And why do you only have 3 cells colored in so far? That's the agreement that they came to, was that if he didn't tattoo his face like a lizard, he wouldn't he already had the implants. He already has his tongue split. Jim Rose said, I will not take you on tour if you don't tattoo your face like a lizard.
You know what set yourself for this
under the Amigo.
It's so funny because Jim Rose came to me with some weird shit too, and I went, "No, I'm golden. I'll just do my own shit. I don't want to be." The reason why I never joined a gang, a motorcycle MC, MC, anything, a motorcycle club, any of those things, because I'm my own person. I don't give a fuck. I'll be my own thing and I'll run my own things and we'll do our own things and I want to be my own thing. I don't want people to tell me what to do, or I don't need weird rules that don't matter to me.
We already have enough of those in society.
Yeah, exactly. Similarly. But like if somebody came to me and said, hey, I'll take you on tour if you do this with your taint and you've got to show it off every night. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm cool. I can do whatever, and like I've got my own thing, and I'm not going to deal with that. Unfortunately, he didn't.
Yeah, but like if you're like if he at that moment is the only place where somebody like him
No, yeah,
can
sure. I kind of get it.
can get a name, like then it's not a negotiation. It's just torturing.
Well, I get both sides, because I have had a Jim Rose come to me and talk to me, and I said I will only do certain things.
Name?
It's time for safe sex in the early 21st century. The Amigo is going to demonstrate the improper use of a condom.
I hate this act so much. Fuck this act. I will never do this act.
First he unfurls it like it's the American flag. Oh, glory. And then he's...
And what they do... There's these banana flavored, and I'm sorry, Kitty Cat, to say that, but there's these banana flavored condoms that you get from Australia or something that you can get for like $1 million for like nil amount of money, and that's what him and Enigma and a couple other people used to get. But dude, I cannot stand the taste of any kind of rubber going in my skull in this way, shape, or form.
Gets it into his nose.
I can't do it this anyway. I can't do it.
And that, I think the audience will be okay. They can go see him
with us not doing it.
He's still performing.
Yeah.
Like he just performed in Houston recently. Like he's still actively performing right now.
Who,
and
Lizard?
it wasn't Jim Rose either.
No, I know he doesn't work for Jim Rose. No, I know that.
Oh,
But
I didn't know he didn't work for him anymore. I just knew that.
Yeah, no. Nobody works for Jim Rose. Jim Rose, like I said, he sits in his hotel
he's
room
just
with his
consulting
wife.
them. I see.
Yeah, and he, from the best of my knowledge, he sits in his hotel room and he consults. I'll put it. That's the best way I'm going to put it.
Consult consciousness.
And here's this. Here's this act.
I can do that.
Yeah, she can do this.
I can do this one.
Yeah.
Not quite like that, but I can do this one.
Being double jointed, that's all right, isn't it?
Only my thumbs are double jointed.
No, it's just knowing how to manicure the body.
But honestly, if my hips were
I can do that.
bigger, like I probably wouldn't be able to do it with the bracket that I have. But I got narrow hips,
It's
so it works
pretty
out
much
well.
that. Okay, so let's see if any of that happens where they try to copy. He's the only one Jim is going to try to copyright claim us. But anyways, well, yeah, okay. Well, I'll show one. Let's show one more thing. These are the bobbers then. Let's see. What did I show earlier? Let's try and see. Yeah, and so, like, it's gonna suck balls because this will get me whatever. If everybody,
what?
$2 a month, become a member. If anybody wants to help with the memberships, that would be amazing. This thing, after we do this, is not going to be monetized because I don't want to not play music with it. But here we below. But this is kind of like where we'll play a couple of videos to go through to show like the modern version of performances on stage, springboarding, I guess is the best way to put it, off of what we just saw. So we'll go with like this. This is me with the fucking blue guy.
I am Slim, the living cyborg at Breckenridge Brewery. For Denver Comic Con, you are watching Groovy TV.
Okay, like a boss.
Oh yeah,
that sounds
Like
good.
That's a
like
keg. Is it full or empty? I'm assuming empty.
I can't divulge that information. The mole people won't let me tell you.
That's him saying it's empty.
It's heavy.
Living the living cyborg at
So let's
Still
just
heavy
crack it.
enough.
We're just gonna. Anyways,
Breckenridge Brewery. We're talking about Denver Comic Con. How the heck you doing, man?
Good. How's it going today?
It's going freaking sweet. You're playing the after party. I'm stoked.
Yes, it's gonna be so awesome. Where are we gonna be? We're gonna be at Stoney's Brewery after the Denver Comic Con on Saturday night, correct?
Absolutely. It's going to be amazing.
It's gonna be insane. We're gonna be doing shows. I'm gonna have my own Sideshow stage.
You got your own stage?
I have my own stage. I'm doing Sideshow all night long.
What can people expect from because you do so many different things? Tell me about it.
Oh my gosh, I do so much. I'm gonna be putting clothespins on my face and slapping them off. I'll be swallowing a sword. I'll be lifting a full-size keg with my ears.
Hey.
Yes.
Does that hurt?
It tingles. It tingles.
So, but now let's get in executively. So let's get into where we have like these performances, which again are springboarded, and we've done more like fetishy type things off of that.
Step right this way. Life breaks inside. Step right this way. Life breaks inside. Be amazed and wonder. See the city skeleton man. Feisty Siamese twins. Sexy stick woman. Beautiful married lady. Unbelievable again. Painless human concussion. And CBS fire here.
All right, folks, there we go. We'll see you all tomorrow for another silly dumbass fucking stream perf stream. I don't know what is tomorrow's.
Oh, this was very interesting.
Yeah, I always find this fun to look at, like the weird people, you know, like it's I think it's nice, like it's just a different side of humans.
Yeah, and it shows the history of this as well, and that's what we're trying to go over. As this is the early 1990s
and for tomorrow,
in the Americas, and tomorrow is
effing funny. You laugh, you lose.
Yeah, if anybody laughs, you lose, and then we kick you off the stream. I'm just kidding. No,
yeah, then you're a loser.
Yeah, you're a loser. Anyways, I have so many funny videos to go over. and not all of them are AI. So I have like the funny signs and people doing silly stuff on like Ring cameras and stuff. It's all real life stuff that we're mainly going over tomorrow. That's funny. Like America's Funniest Videos, I guess is the best way to put it, where it's real life videos of us making fun of people and or signs and other things and stuff, to where comparatively to AI generated stuff, we make fun of that. So that's what the difference between those two are. And then Wednesday, I think I have a handful of enough stuff to go over, but because I have a new phone, I don't have the same app, and I know I can download it, but I'm trying to figure out a better way to come up with content for Wednesdays. Let's put it that way, because it used to be really easy for me to click this one website, click a link, and save it, and then put it into a playlist, and then they decided to get rid of that, and then it went downhill from there in the last like 4 years or something. I don't know. So now it's completely different, which isn't bad. Just now I'm working on, but it'll still be a thing. There's no way that I'm gonna get rid of it, because it's so much fun for us to do. And then Thursday is more fun stuff. I don't know. It's fun anymore.
Well, I didn't know you were gonna go over the whole fucking week.
Oh, is that the 19th? We're gonna go over Gay Pride, Pride.
That's the 20th. Yes, the Gay Pride. Gay Pride shit.
And I didn't.
Motherfuckers.
Just Pride Month. Anyways, I don't know if we're gonna do 19th. Well, we'll just do it then. And the reason why I was doing it then is because, like, I think that's the weekend that we do it in Denver or something. So that was the only reason I moved it to that. And I wanted to go over all the other celebrations before. So, anyways, we'll see you tomorrow.
So then we're going to go over the Proud Boys?
Yeah, we'll go over the Proud Girls. Anyways. In
their fucking Daisy Dukes.
Yeah, exactly. Similarly. All right, see y'all on the other side later. Thank you for being here. Please make sure that you like the stream, that you're double check that you're subscribed, hit the bell notification, and if you can, become a member. And it's like $2 a month or something like that to help support us to make it so this works and we keep doing this dumbass shit. So thank you all very much. Night, everybody. We'll see y'all later. We're gonna get the fuck out of here. Bye.
Bye.